Okay, so sorry I'm not in today. Again, I have work to do, so I'll be in the morning. Hopefully, I'll be here in the afternoon. No promises. I got a couple of notes from the sub the last time. A couple of people were mentioned, and I figured this time around, if your name is mentioned, I'll just bypass the whole being nice part, and I'll just give your name to the office, and they can take care of you and add you to that wonderful list of detention. Um, Hopefully, the list comes out blank, and you guys are as awesome as I believe you are. Okay, so here is your That Quiz passwords. So again, go to thatquiz.com, or sorry, thatquiz.org, and on thatquiz.org, on the bottom right, there is a place for you to enter your codes. There is 30 questions, basic unit 1 or unit 2 solving equations, which is a skill you need for this unit to be relevant. You also need to know how to find the square root, but we'll go over that today. Go ahead and open up your Pearson app. Pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go through it anyways. But on your iPad, you're going to go through the Pearson app. You're going to have to kind of go back and forth because the computers are going to be used in a different classroom. You should have your iPad with you. Okay, so once you open up your iPad app, go to the math units, and again, grade 9, and we're going to go to lesson 2. So we're going to be working on this lesson. When you click on it, it should look something like this. Square root method is kind of like solving equations, just like your that quiz. Again, you should be doing this after you complete your that quiz assignment. Okay, so I'm going to go back to slide 1. I know this is the first slide, but I'm going to go backwards a little bit and start with slide 2. We're going to solve equations in the forms ax squared plus c. We learned how to graph this already, equals 0, and this is our vertex form. Okay, so this is vertex form, this is standard form. So vertex form, that's this one, and this is standard form. That's this one. Okay, without the b value. That's okay. We're not worried about the b value right now. Okay. Again, when we're solving, this is our key word right here, solving. I'll circle it 1,000 times. Solving, when you solve something, you are actually finding the solutions. Okay. Now, if you remember where your solutions are, they are on the x-axis. Okay. You see this key word here that we've all talked about, the solutions and the roots. Those are the same things. Solving, roots. Same thing on the x-axis. Okay, there are going to be multiple videos, so I know I'm going through this kind of slowly. Get ready to watch 2 or 3 videos. Yes. Okay, so that's our math mission. I know we started on slide 2, but that's okay. So slide 1 says, looking at the graph, look at this graph. There are 3 quadratic functions and their graphs. In order to find the roots, zeros, see, remember we talked about the 4 names? Here's 2 of them. Roots and zeros, you have to solve. Remember, the solve means to find the solutions, get the variable by itself, the quadratic equations. So we have to solve, find the solutions, and they'll find the roots and the zeros. Okay, we're going to find all those things all at once. Okay, so here, this is an example of solving. Okay, this looks very familiar. This right here is our vertex form. Okay, so this 3 on the outside right here, they factored that from 3x squared and 75. They're going to solve this equation by graphing it, and it's going to be what looks like 3x squared minus 4x minus 75. Oh, sorry. Oh, those are the 3 different ones. Sorry, these are 3 different equations. Equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. Those are 1, 2, and 3. Okay. We know that the solutions here, the green one has 2 solutions, and the orange one, whatever color this one, has 1 there and 1 there. Okay. So we know that these solutions exist. Okay. So in your notebook, remember, click here in the notebook on the top right. So click up here, and then these are the things that we should probably be finding in your notebook. It says which equations have solutions and why are these equations in vertex. Are all these equations in vertex form? So let's make a new page. These questions, and we'll answer this into your notebook. Okay, so which equations have solutions and why? So let's answer that one. Let's go back. The green one, 3x squared minus 75, and the one in vertex form. Okay, so equations, it looks like, oops, let's go back. It looks like equations 1 and 2, but not 3. Okay, so the first two equations have solutions because when they are graphed, they cross the x-axis. The x-axis represents our solutions, roots, zeros, and x-intercepts. Okay, now that's what we learned in, I believe, 8D. So we're using our graphing knowledge to make sense of solving. Okay, so remember, we did graphing first for a reason. It allows us to have an overall view of what's going on. Okay, are all three equations in vertex form, and why does that help? Okay, so for the second question, let's do this in a different color. Not all equations are in vertex form, only the second one, which was 3x minus 4 squared. I'll make that a squared later. Squared, I think plus, what was it, plus 75? Or minus 75? Minus 75 equals 0. This equals 0 part is going to be super important later. Let's not forget what that is. This one should be our square. There you go. That was the only one in vertex form. And I think that was helpful. Like, not everyone's going to think this is helpful, but I think that was helpful because it let me know right away if it is going to cross the x-axis by identifying the vertex. So let's go back and let's see what I was saying there. In this equation here, this 3x minus 4 squared minus 75, this one, I can find the vertex right away. I quickly just found vertex and it's facing up. So I know that it's going to have 1, 2 solutions right away. I don't know what they are, I just know there are 2 solutions. That's what we learned in 8C. Okay. So this is what you should have written down or something similar to it. You might want to have a drawing that matches. You might want to reword it to something that you understand a little better. Again, you're going to have to go back and forth. Maybe you want to write it down on a piece of paper. And then once you're all done with all the videos, you can go back and enter into the app. Okay. We know what our math mission is. We talked about this. There's square roots. This is the vertex form, which look like equation number 2 here and slide number 1. And we're going to find those zeros. We're going to actually find the values of these points right here. So let me put a cool little marker so I know they are. I'm looking for this point and this point on the green. and this point on the orange, and this purple one doesn't have any. Not quite as cool. Okay, so we did that. Slide 2, nothing to write there. Let's go to slide 3. Okay, so it says the equation 3x squared minus 75 equals 0 has two solutions. So this is some given information. This is some free, easygoing information right here. I know this right here. This is all, I have to find two solutions. Okay, so those two solutions are found here and here. Now looking at this, it looks like somewhere between like 4 and 6, somewhere between 4 and 6. I'm going to guess 5, but we're actually going to learn today how to find those numbers exactly. Okay, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. Oh, it says solve the equation by graphing, so it's already graphed for you, and estimating the x values for 3x squared minus 75. Okay, so if we zoom in a little bit, let's zoom in. I think it's square. Okay, if you zoom in, it looks like it's somewhere between 4 and 6. Be 4 and 6. I'm gonna guess that the solution for this one is going to be 5. I'm gonna say x equals 5 and negative 5. It's gonna be both of those solutions. The x value is gonna be there, 5 and negative 5. Two of them. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna write in my notebook. Okay, so in my notebook, it's gonna ask for these things. So my notebook's gonna look like this. It's gonna ask me for the question, and I know you guys can't screenshot it or add these things right away, but if it's asking me for these things, probably just gonna do, say, based on the provided graph, the solutions seem to be between -4 and -6 and between 4 and 6. Therefore, I think the answers are -5 and 5. Now remember, we call these x-intercepts or roots. Okay, so we can call them x's. X equals -5 and x equals 5. Okay, so those are the ones that we're going to estimate. Okay, in the next slide, it's going to actually show us how to solve it. Okay, the roots of the equation for 3x squared minus 75 equals 0. So this part's really important. Remember, we used to have like f of x equals, or we would have y equals. So this is going to represent our y value. Okay, can also be found by solving the equation. Now solving, remember, key words here. That means solutions. Solving the equation using the square roots. This is often referred to as the square root method. Okay, now square roots are simply because of this value right here, this x squared. I need to get that x by itself, so I'm going to square root to find the answer. This simply means that one of the steps in the solution, you take the square root of both sides. So this is that step it's talking about. You're going to find the square root of x squared, you're going to find the square root of 25, and you're going to find your answer. Remember, square roots are going to have two answers, because in this case, it looks like x equals question mark and x equals question mark, positive 5 and negative 5. Now remember, when solving, you have to get the x by itself. So it doesn't really tell you exactly what's happening, but we're going to have to justify and figure out what's going on. Continue on the next video.